Now here's the host of Legal Forum, David Hagen.
Thank you, Leon, and welcome to another edition of Legal Forum. Today's topic is jury duty, and today's show will deal with our jury system. Our focus today is on your rights and responsibilities in connection with jury service when a summons to serve as a juror arrives at your door. Judge, where did this jury system come from?
Well, you know, the jury system has been traced back to Roman times, believe it or not, but the jury system that we currently know is really traceable back to about 900 years ago under the reign of King Henry II. It comes directly to us from England. Since that time, of course, the jury system has evolved and it's changed substantially, but when our country was founded, the Founding Fathers made this a part of the Bill of Rights. It's the Sixth Amendment, the right to a jury trial.
So it's certainly a historical concept and constitutional right.
Long-lasting, very important concept.
All right. Kim, as an attorney, why is a jury or a jury system important to you?
A jury system is important for so many different reasons. One of those reasons is that it allows your case to be decided by the community, by your peers, people who are out there with a real-world perspective. And they're not people who are typically entrenched in the judicial system. They're not people who have seen 100 or 1,000 different cases go to trial. And they can bring that fresh perspective to your case, to their deliberations.
I see your point, a fresh set of minds then to look at your particular case.
Exactly. And probably one of the most important aspects of the jury system, I think, is the jury selection process. And that allows the attorneys to go through a series of questions and excuse jurors that might have some type of a bias, so that by the time the jury is actually sworn in, the attorneys and the court have some kind of confidence that the individuals who have been selected to serve as jurors are going to listen to the evidence and they're going to try their hardest to make a decision that's fair in the context of that case.
In your opinion, a good thing?
A great thing.
Judge, good thing?
Absolutely.
Even though you don't get to be the ultimate arbitrator of the facts, you turn that over to a jury. Still a good thing?
Well, of course, we all think that we can be fair, but I think there has been a judgment over time that it's perhaps better to have 12 individuals who don't know a thing about the dispute decide the dispute, and that might be a fair result in the long run over many cases. So absolutely, I think it's a wonderful system.
Now, I want to get to this concept of what you do when a summons comes, but let's talk a little bit about jury service as it currently is constituted. I know that in the Superior Court for the County of Los Angeles, they have this one-day, one-trial system that's been in place for the last couple of years. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this came out of a state statute that was passed in 1996, and the state began implementing it in 1997, called One Day, One Trial. What that means is that you as a juror, if you were summoned as a prospective juror, you were required to serve one day or for the length of one trial. Under our old system, everyone was called for 10 days, so that was a major inconvenience to many people.
Well, and that was an objection that a lot of people have. You'd sit around for 10 days and do nothing.
Right, and that was the source of the problem in terms of no one wanted to serve jury because it was too much time taken out of their busy lives. This came in one day, one trial. We actually in California joined many other states. At that time there were at least 30 states under this system, and we decided to go forward. Now when the legislation was passed, the Los Angeles Superior Court, because it is the largest trial court in the world, was concerned that it would not be able to have enough jurors. We do about 6,000 trials a year. And under the old system, with jurors being called in for 10 days, we didn't need that many jurors. Under the new system, we were going to need anywhere from 3 to 10 more jurors a day than we did previously. We were very concerned we wouldn't find enough jurors. In fact, we hired a major consulting firm and they told us we would not have enough jurors. But the leadership of the court decided we are going to try this, and we implemented it across the county. Finally, you're exactly right, in May 2002, we are entirely under the one day, one trial system. And I'm glad to say that we have been able to honor the promise to jurors that they won't be called more than once a year under this system. So far, we have never had to do that, and our projections are we'll be able to continue as we are.
So you get called once a year, you sit down there one day, or you get called to serve on one jury. Now, I want to go on record. I showed up for jury duty, but Judge, what if I didn't? What's going to happen to me?
Well, I think there's also a rumor on the street that nothing will happen. All you have to do is take your jury summons and put it in the circular file and nothing happens. And that is truly false. The Los Angeles Superior Court has taken a lead in the juror sanctions program. This is not something we set out to do or wanted to do, but we feel a real responsibility to all those people who do answer their summons, that they don't feel like they were schnookered because they did, and their neighbor next door says, well, nothing ever happened to me. So now we have a sanctions program, and the way that works is all of us are summoned, and if we're summoned to our last known address. Well, if you don't answer the first, don't answer the second, don't answer the third, on the fourth time, we're going to send you an order to show cause, and that's an order requiring you to come to court. If you fail to come to court, you will, in all likelihood, could be assessed $250. Now, the kicker to remember in this is you're assessed $250, that's sent to a collection agency, but you're also still required to serve. You cannot buy out of jury service.
If you don't show up, you're eventually going to have to pay $250 and be forced to show up.
Yes. Well, and then if you don't show up the next time, it can go up to $750 or $1,500. Wow. And our goal here is to get folks to serve. We're not looking at this as a revenue raiser, although of course we're in dire needs of funds, right. But this is not our purpose. Our purpose is to get jurors to serve. One of the reasons it's so important to have jurors serve is that we are required, as Kim has said, to have a fair and impartial jury, and that's culled from a fair cross-section of the community. But if you only have the volunteers or the retirees, that's really not honoring the constitutional idea of a jury. So we have to get members from the community. There's a secondary problem in that the people that answer, that makes a burden for them because they're being called more often, and also a burden on their employers because they're absent more often. And that's just not fair. So we want to address that inequity, and that has been a rolling system for the last 3 years. It goes from district to district in our county, and we have them frequently.
Wow. Well, getting away from the stick and to the carrot, any amenities or special things that are provided to jurors when you show up?
Well, there are. I think that probably varies somewhat from courthouse to courthouse. I recently did serve for jury duty.
Oh, you got one too, huh?
One
day.
All
right.
And I was very comfortable that day. They provided magazines and newspapers to read. They had a TV set. They had 4 computers with internet access. They had a snack shop around the corner for lunchtime. The staff gave their suggestions and recommendations for restaurants and a walking tour. We probably had 3 or 4 breaks during the day and an hour and a half lunch, and we're done by 4 o'clock. I was able to perform my civic duty and relax at the same time. It was not a bad experience.
So they treated you good?
They treated me really well.
Well, how about special treatment then? Do celebrities get special treatment? How about lawyers or doctors or judges or anyone else?
No, there is no category of persons that is too special or too busy or too whatever to be excused. And in fact, we have had a whole host of very famous and accomplished people come in. Our Chief Justice, Ronald George, has served. Former Governor Gray Davis, former Governor Pete Wilson, Mayor Richard Reardon. We've had celebrities. We've had Diane Keaton, Steve Martin. I just read that Oprah Winfrey was serving jury. I've had Buzz Aldrin in my courtroom. We've had all sorts of folks, and they show up and do their civic duty. And if they're found to be a suitable juror by the judge and the lawyers, they go ahead and serve.
Man, that would be great. Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut even, huh?
Yes.
Great. Any restrictions on jury? Is there anyone who can't?
Well, you have to be over 18 years old.
Okay.
You have to be a citizen.
Right.
And you cannot be a felon.
Okay.
So those classes of people are excluded. If you don't fall in that group, you're excluded.
So I guess you could say if you really don't want to do jury duty, just commit a felony.
That would be one way.
And after you serve your time, then you're exempt from jury duty.
That's right.
That's a little tough.
It's a trade-off.
Wow. So why do you think then, why is it important to serve? Why should someone not just try and get out, even though it sounds like it's a difficult thing to do?
Well, I think by serving as a juror, you ensure that the cases are going to be decided fairly and impartially. And that's important not just for that particular case, but for the integrity of the system. And by preserving the integrity of the system, then the system is there and operating and functioning so that it's available for each of us
Right.
if and when we ever do need it.
Well, and it seems to me people see the odd, the bizarre, the unique kind of judgment that comes out, or a jury that it doesn't look like was paying attention. And the answer is, you know, if you see those kinds of things, serve. You know, put
true.
more rational, reasonable people like yourself on those panels so that they serve.
Sure.
Other reasons why it's important?
Well, I think that our system of justice is really the envy of the world. And what is the backbone of our system? It's juror service and having jury trials. I don't think there's a higher form of public service other than perhaps serving in the armed forces that you can give back to your country. And as we have men and women dying overseas to preserve our way of life, I have to think this is a way you can give back and show them that this is something you want to preserve. It really calls on the highest portion of human nature. It calls on our intelligence, our sense of fairness, our ability to set aside our own prejudices and work together as a group to come to a decision, a considered decision that's very important to the parties involved.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's truly public service, in my opinion.
Do you get paid?
You get paid $15 a day and transportation
Whoa,
one way.
And I
So-
saw a sign that allows you to donate it to the jury room, or the fixing
That's
up the
right.
jury room, or the public announcement where we get this information out on jury service.
Right, we do ask for those who would like, they can donate it, and then we try to put that back to good uses, including upgrading our jury rooms, getting the internet access, getting more comfortable chairs, whatever it may be, so that the jurors have a better experience when they're with us.
Wow. Well, we're quickly running out of time, and I'd like to thank our guest today.